Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca Jones and I'm a corporate and commercial solicitor at Tinsdills Solicitors. This short video is about non-performance of contractual obligations in light of the coronavirus pandemic. Non-performance of contracts will be a particular concern to businesses at the moment. This may already be a live issue for you or maybe something that is expected in the coming weeks. Non-performance of a contract is likely to be a breach of that contract unless the contract itself provides for what is to happen in certain circumstances. It is therefore really important for businesses to be reviewing their contracts that they have in place with customers and suppliers, particularly if issues are foreseen. Coronavirus is practically something that nobody could have ever foreseen, and so is therefore, you would assume, beyond everybody's control. However, whether it is in terms of contracts is a completely different matter. Many of you may have heard of clauses such as force majeure clauses that parties may seek to rely on in the event of being unable to perform contracts or because of a delay in supply chains, etc. Unless, however, the force majeure clauses specifically refer to epidemics, pandemics, government action, it may be hard for parties to rely on the clause. As the position and the government advice is ever changing, it's important to regularly review contracts because the matter at the moment may not be a force majeure event but may well be in the future. If you're unable to rely on a force majeure clause, there may be other options available to you, such as frustration of contracts or other provisions in the contract on which you may seek to rely. If you are experiencing issues, our advice is to review your contracts and seek legal advice if you're unsure of the terms. It's important to note that your legal options will differ depending on whether you're dealing with businesses or consumers. You should also bear in mind that there may be specific regulations upon you given depending on the nature of your business. Consumers have further protection under the Consumer Rights Act 2015, and therefore this needs to be borne in mind when reviewing your contracts and looking at your options. We also advise that the following risk management steps are taken by businesses at this time, and these are: if you're in supply chains, you need to be reviewing your contracts within the supply chain to check that they are in harmony and all contractual provisions are mirrored. You also need to be inserting express infection disease epidemic wording into new contracts or terms and conditions and amending these if possible. Another thing that we advise is that you check your contracts to see whether you are required to give early or advance warning of anything that may impact on your performance under the contract. If you have funders or lenders, then you need to be considering whether any notices must be given under the relevant funding documents in relation to non-performance of contracts or otherwise. You need to be checking your insurance provisions to see whether any losses are covered. Make sure that claims are made in accordance with the requirements of the policy. You also should be conducting risk assessments with consideration being given as to factors specific to suppliers and working conditions. Of course, you need to be keeping up to date with details of the infected areas throughout the World Health Organisation's disease outbreak news, keeping up to date with the news as well, auditing suppliers and reviewing their respective work, health and safety systems and policies to check that government guidance is being followed, engaging with your health and safety managers to ensure that there is ongoing communication with workers, providing updates and training refreshers where needed. Thanks for listening. I hope that you found that useful. If you have any queries, you can contact our business services team at Tinsdills. You can also head to the Chamber of Commerce for any general business advice. Thanks for listening again and stay well.